One of the cool things, actually, is if you do something in the real world and then you put it online, it has even more authenticity. So even if 20 people saw you at Times Square protesting, when you put it online, a couple million people can see it because they're going to refer to their friends. And the great thing about controversy, you know, I would protest gravity if I thought it was going to get me buzz. The whole thing is if you're only doing stuff online, you're not differentiating your stuff because there are millions of keyboard jockeys out there, people who can do it online but don't actually do anything in the real world. So if you combine an offline presence with, you know, a great online presence, it's really powerful.
How about Joe the Plumber?
Joe the Plumber is possibly
he might have gotten it a slightly different way, but I guess he's all over the internet as well.
He's the best example lately. Joe the Plumber became the buzzword for this election. And it's a combination of real world. He was there. He had to be there. He couldn't just go on Obama's website and type in a question. He had to physically be there and ask the question. And that's what leads to a huge buzz, doing something in the real world. You can't sit online all day. You have to do something and then bring it online effectively. I never worry about bad press. If somebody says something mean about me online, it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, it's encouraging because one of the things that happens when somebody, let's say somebody writes a terrible review of my book, I would prefer that. I would genuinely prefer that more than a mediocre review. If it's between getting a 7 out of 10 or the 1 out of 10, I want the 1 out of 10.
Why?
Because people are kind of tired of things where there's no reaction. Let's say you're reading a movie review for a new action movie that just came out, and the review sounds okay in the newspaper. You might go see it. Then again, you might not. It really depends on if you're in the market for an action movie.
But if I read one that said it was absolutely a terrible movie, that sort of thing, then I'd never go see it again, or I wouldn't have paid the $5, whatever. That's going to be more of an incentive or an inducement to say, well, geez, I'd like to see it.
Definitely. You're going to say, what is this movie and why was the reviewer so mad? So at the very least, you're going to Google the movie, check out its trailer on the Apple website, and now you're somewhat engaged. And who knows, you might like the trailer, then you're like, sold, I'm seeing it right now. Or you may think it's stupid as well, and then you're going to tell a friend, you're going to say, God, this movie got ripped so hard in the New York Times last weekend. You have to read this review, and they're going to send the review. Eventually, it's going to find its audience. Somebody's going to like it. So the whole point is people need to have an opinion about things. You need to be polarizing.